And good evening, ladies and gentlemen. Once again, it is I, Daryl Smith, and my cohort, Mr. Chris Picard.
I'm here in the flesh as usual.
There you go.
We haven't had a handshake in a while.
No, we haven't done
It's
a
been a
handshake
few
in
weeks.
while. There
Months,
you go.
months.
Very good. So, Chris, knock, knock.
Who's there?
You.
You.
You who? Chris, it's me.
Oh, yeah, you're so
Come
funny.
on, let's start the show.
Oh, I love these jokes. Very nice. Welcome, folks, to our 110th program.
Is it really?
110. Yeah.
I don't think that's right.
Because last week was 109. How could this not be 110?
Oh, I don't think so. I don't think it was 109.
Yes, it was. We just said it 10 minutes ago. Last week, right here, 109.
109? Okay.
Yeah,
okay,
when you
okay.
pulled up last week's episode on your phone, you said, oh, look, 109.
Oh, very well. Well,
I keep track, my
at
friend.
least somebody should be pulling it up. Okay. All right, so here we are. We're back with another incredible, great show for
Exactly.
you, for us anyway. And we would like to mention, however, our Michael Jackson video.
Yeah, it's getting up
just
there, huh?
about to cross 900 views.
That's pretty good for us.
So if you are on YouTube, please, as you should be, watching this show. So just do a cross ventilation, do a cross lateral parallel pass, and go take a look over at that Michael Jackson episode.
Yeah.
It's the 24-minute segment.
It just says spotlight review of Leaving Neverland.
That was taken out of episode 107.
Yes.
And you can watch that. And I personally recommend you watch the entire episode of 107 because later on in the show I do a little Michael Jackson impression.
Oh, you do you?
And I was
I don't even remember it.
I did. I kind of said, well, it's like Michael Jackson, like, oh, okay. And I did a little Michael Jackson impression, and I was distraught to realize that I never did the Michael Jackson impression while we did our 24-minute show.
You were very much in reviewer mode.
Well, I was in reviewer mode because it's a serious subject, and
Yeah, I mean,
you know,
we took it very seriously.
we took it very seriously, as
Yeah.
does the world.
You got it.
Hence, Michael Jackson's music is now being kind of blacklisted, if you would, black sheeped.
In some areas, I still hear it on our radios here. I'll be honest. When
Yeah.
it comes on, I leave it on. I'm not going to not listen.
No, absolutely not.
I still love those songs. I listened to Beat It yesterday.
Did you?
Yeah.
Okay, and and I beat it yesterday.
Yeah, I was waiting for that.
But But you know, folks, in the Hall of Fame, the Rock and Roll Hall of Fame wax figures.
Yes.
I guess which is part of Madame Tussauds. I'm not
Madame
actually
Tussauds,
sure,
yeah, probably.
but they were going to take his figure down, but they did not.
Just leave it up. Leave him there. Leave his spot on the Walk of Fame.
Well, that's easy for you to say, being a flamer
He's still an
yourself.
icon. You can't erase him from history.
He is indeed. You
You
know,
know?
and let's get right into us because there's a little Michael Jackson moment at the beginning of the film.
Is there?
Yes, there is. The little girl puts on her father is playing ball.
Oh, that's right, the
thing.
Thriller shirt.
He wins her a
Yes,
Thriller
yes.
shirt, and he says to her, he says, "I hope my daughter doesn't have nightmares from that shirt."
Oh, yeah. Yeah,
And
yeah, yeah.
I'm thinking to myself, boy, that was a little prophetic.
Kind of,
on
yeah.
behalf of Mr. Jordan Peele, who
Because
directed this.
that whole
because-
opening of the film takes place is a flashback in 1986.
Yeah, but not only that. I mean, the film was made more than a year ago.
Yeah, it was actually filmed last spring.
Oh, exactly.
Yeah.
So just about a year ago, and
Yeah.
it's now hitting theaters now. So
Yes.
obviously he had no idea about Michael's, pedophilia.
Well, I'm
kind
sure
of,
you knew about it because we've known about this
well,
for
we've all
decades.
known about
But this
it,
documentary wasn't out. These
Correct.
allegations weren't out.
Correct, correct. I mean, it wasn't anything people were talking about. Was
Not to the
Michael
degree
to
that
the
they are
extent
right
that
now.
they are now.
Yeah,
and-
exactly.
But anyway, as I was about to say, we're up to about 889 hits.
Yeah,
which
that's
is
not bad.
Good.
We got a lot of
for two
negative
guys,
comments.
From Jersey, doing our thing. Yeah, it's the way it goes.
Some woman from Canada told us to shut the F up.
Did she?
She goes, "This is me from Canada telling you
Oh,
to
shut
the
the
F
ear
up."
up. I'm sorry to say
Yeah.
that, but shut the ear up.
I said, well, us here in America, we have something that we like
round
to
in a
do.
boat.
I
round
forget what
in-
I said. Who cares?
Well, there you go.
I said
What-
something about free speech.
You said something.
Yeah.
Go
Honestly,
ahead.
I've been very
Kind.
cordial and kind
You have been
because
kind.
starting a fight with people that are trolling your page is not going to get you anywhere. So I just kind of, nicely defend ourselves and say thanks for watching. Because
Very
honestly, I don't care. I'll take the hit. Because
Really?
yeah,
Yeah, why
yeah.
not?
Literally, it's a hit on our page. I'll
It's a
take
hit
it
on our page.
That's
I'll take,
fine.
be it negative or not.
Yeah, it's
but
gonna
let's
help
face
us
it,
out.
As I pointed out last week, about 890 hits now. I mean, we really can't. Louis, stop that. He keeps trying to
He's
help
not
my
gonna
dog
stop.
over there. Yeah, but he does stop when I yell
when
at
you
him.
yell at them.
But we're almost up to 890 hits right now. But you got to consider that 30 negatives out of 890 is still pretty damn good.
You mean thumbs down? Yeah,
thumbs
yeah.
down. Yeah, I mean, we only
Yeah,
got 30
yeah,
people.
because we have 800 negatives.
Exactly.
Yeah.
I mean, not every single person is giving us a thumbs up or thumbs down, but they're just going there to read it and
Yeah,
and
most people don't
intake
comment
the
or do
info.
anything. You know,
Exactly.
It's really only his supporters, his hardcore fans that are the ones that are taking the time to troll people's pages and comment and downvote and do all this kind of stuff.
Very true.
The average person is just going to watch and move on. I mean, I don't really comment on videos that I watch on YouTube. Very, very rarely. It has
Yeah,
to
I
really
do.
strike a nerve for me.
Well,
and it's
yeah,
usually something that I love. I don't really waste the time to
True.
to talk
When you're
on
watching
YouTube.
the Graham Norton show or something like that.
I might say, great job, that kind of thing,
You
but
know,
I don't
but-
troll pages.
no, I
really.
don't either. I
The
don't
only
either.
time I comment on anything is generally on Facebook. That's pretty much
But
it.
you got to also say that this is a bit of a controversy.
Well, it is, yeah. and
it is something that almost demands a comment.
It does, I
Or
know.
demands a thumbs up, thumbs down.
That's why we did a
Anyway,
whole
let's
segment.
get right into us here.
But yeah, this is Jordan Peele's second film. His
Saw
first
this
film was Get Out in
first
2017. We all know
Another
that.
horror, another little horror.
Yeah, there he is right
film.
there, Mr. Jordan Peele himself.
Yes, indeed.
Yeah.
Indeed, and so he was. Nice camera there, Jordan.
Very nice
oh,
lens.
My God, look at that.
Yeah, well, that's just the lens, yeah.
I see that.
He's just
I
getting
see
a
that.
shot. There's Lupita
Lovely.
Nyong'o, the star of the
Lupita
film.
Nyong'o, correct. Chris, did I like this film?
I think you did.
I really didn't.
Did. See, I always get that wrong.
I really didn't care for this movie that
Interesting.
much. I didn't find it frightening at all.
No, that's the thing I agree. All this the hype, the most scariest movie of all
Forget
time.
about it.
Get out of here. I
Forget
wasn't
about
scared
it.
for a second. The hype is so ridiculous with these
The
movies.
problem, I'm going to get right into the problem with the film as opposed to reviewing it right away. Well, of course, that is a review by getting into the problem. The problem is that we've all seen the trailer for this film. Like, oh, they're this family.
great trailer.
It is a great trailer.
Yeah.
There they are out in the driveway, and they are us. Yes, they are. Now, the premise for this film, and I can't really go into that too much. You want to go into the underground?
I don't think we should give it too much stuff. No, we just know
okay.
that there were doppelgangers that show up.
Correct. I got to say something. The premise of this film, and this film stays very much within its own little premise. It doesn't really branch out and give us a good backstory. I mean, it
Not
does
too much.
sort of at the end, but
We get like a
really,
monologue that explains it. in
Not
one
even
part.
a monologue. It really stays within this very small premise of this. The doppelgangers are now trying to kill them.
Yeah.
They're trying to fend themselves, and that goes on for about an hour and
It
change.
does, but in that moment, there's her doppelganger that's called Red, does this whole at least 3 to 5 minute speech
No, I realize.
to the other version of her about the history of what's going on.
Towards the end, yes.
Yeah, and that's
When
the only
they're-
time we get any
when
kind of
they're
backstory.
in this other place,
Yeah, yeah,
and
yeah.
so forth and
Yes.
so on. The film opens up. I kind of knew I kind of felt it in my bones that we were going to have the old bait and switch kind of
Yeah.
a thing here. Due to the opening of the film, she walks into, what is now kind of the big, the genie in the bottle, so to speak, that has now changed everything, and everything begins at that moment. But something, I felt that within the premise of this film, and the very small premise that it is, doppelgangers trying to kill us, let's try and fight them off.
Yeah.
That goes on for a long, long
Yeah,
time
that's-
without any explanation
Yeah,
whatsoever.
yeah.
And a very limited kind of catharsis.
It's a very
of
small scope of
premise.
that, yeah.
I almost felt, hey, this could be an M. Night Shyamalan film. The whole-
I can see what you're saying.
I really could. I just felt that the concept was so minimalistic, and was it scary? No, it really
No.
wasn't scary at
Not
all.
really.
No,
It was just,
it
I
was
thought there were
tense.
times there was some tense.
Yeah, there was
a
tense.
little creepy at times. I thought the performances were very good.
Yeah,
I thought
did too.
Lupita was excellent.
I thought she was dynamite.
And then the way she played the other version
Yeah,
of her
yeah, right.
with that disturbing voice.
I love that
That was
voice.
great.
No, that
And I know
was
she had
good.
to work with a special voice coach to do that voice, so
Oh,
she
I'm
wouldn't
surprised.
hurt her vocal cords because
Oh.
she was almost like, okay, look.
Right.
I can't do more than 2 seconds. I don't know how she did it for all that time.
She's almost doing a.
And it's based on a real condition that you can get.
Oh, really?
Apparently, Robert Kennedy had this condition. It's got a long, complicated name for where you have this issue with your throat. And she based a lot of her voice on his speech patterns.
Okay.
I read.
Interesting.
But anyway,
maybe there was a touch of maybe a sling blade, if you were.
I reckon some French fried potatoes.
I really love Sling Blade. I
me
really
too.
should watch.
I'm
that
actually
sometime.
craving watching it again.
Yeah, me too. Me
It's a
too. I
great
saw
movie.
a little bit of it not long ago, and it was great.
It's really
You know,
good.
she's such a gosh darn beautiful
She
woman,
is.
though.
She's
I mean,
beautiful.
she's just
She's
lovely.
extremely talented.
Great actress. She
I love
does
her.
both roles.
She's great.
She's her doppelganger, who,
Yeah.
as you say, is far more pronounced, and not just an audio, not just the visual, but the audio also.
Yeah.
With the other characters, we don't really.
Well, she's
hear
the only
them
one that
talk.
speaks.
Yeah.
The other one just makes sounds like
Correct.
Swahili.
Correct. Yeah, the little.
That's all they do the whole
clicky
time.
noises.
Yeah.
That was very good, by
You
the
like
way.
that?
Those little clicky
Well, I took
noises.
Swahili for 3 years in high school.
But gosh darn it, I didn't love the film.
I didn't love it either. I
Yeah.
enjoyed it. I thought that it was a very interesting premise. There is a conspiracy element to the film that we learn about a little bit. That I always enjoy things with conspiracies. 'Cause I just find them fun.
Okay.
It's interesting. I like. There's a lot of homage being played to things from the 80s in this movie. Little cues, little clues,
Uh-huh.
little winks to the
Right
audience
as the
that I
film
always
starts,
enjoy.
They're watching a TV, and there's Goonies. There's 3 films on
Goonies, Chud on one side,
Chud.
and then the right stuff on the other side.
No, there was another film on the left also,
Yeah.
which I couldn't make out
I
the
couldn't
title
get
to.
what it was
and
either.
I stared at it,
Yeah.
really studied it to try to
Yeah,
get that
if I'm
final
gonna
film.
guess, I thought it might have been. I couldn't tell.
Harry
but
and the Hooligans or
the
something.
the arrangement of the letters, I thought it was either Mom and Dad Save the World, which was a Jeffrey Jones early '90s comedy,
Okay.
or it might have been Earth Girls Are Easy. I'm not sure though.
No, it wasn't
I'd have
that
to.
one.
I'd have to zoom into it when it's on
Earth
video.
Girls Easy was one swooping kind of thing like that.
Yeah, then it's not
but
that.
this had like
It had
almost
2
like
lines,
a
I
Harry
thought.
and the Hendersons.
I don't think it was that though.
I don't think it was
Yeah.
that either. But performances, Lupita really sticks
good,
out.
yeah.
I thought the kids were okay.
They did their job.
Um,
Yeah, the husband Winston Duke was good. We've seen him in a bunch of things recently.
Yeah, he was okay.
Black
I didn't like
Panther.
the little girl's doppelganger though, with that constant smile. Look
Oh,
how
yeah.
scary I am. See this movie just. There's a pretty bloody sequence. We have to point out that Elizabeth Moss is in
I
this
didn't even
film.
realize she was in it.
I didn't either.
Elizabeth Moss
She
and
is.
Tim Heidecker from Tim and Eric, Awesome Show, Great Job,
Right.
is in the film as well.
Who is a dead ringer, by the way, for Jason Dale. When they're sitting on the beach,
I guess a little bit. Yeah.
he really looks
He's
like
referring
Jason.
to my
He's gonna
brother-in-law.
knock over
No.
your iced tea.
He
There.
won't.
Put that on the table if you
What
will.
is on the table?
No, the other table, the big
Well,
table.
I'm just gonna finish it. How about
Why
that?
don't you do that? See, I didn't love it. I thought it was just kind of a weak. The plot is just, it's scary for scary's sake. I am going to say one little thing about the very ending of this film, and I'm not going to give you and tell you what that very ending
Yeah.
is, but I almost felt that this was kind of a subtle. The whole premise of this movie. I almost, and forgive me, I'm not trying to sound, but I almost felt like it was like the here comes the oncoming revolution of
I know what you're saying.
perhaps black folk coming to like the great civil war between black and white. I almost felt like that there was like an undercarriage.
Yes, but they weren't all black. There was a lot of them.
No,
yeah.
there wasn't.
No.
But I just kind of got that at the very
Well, there could
end.
be also a correlation to the concept of inequality, basing the
Absolutely.
rich and the poor.
Absolutely,
There's a lot of things you
absolutely.
can draw from that.
Yeah, I mean, no question. I mean, there's
And I thought that was kind of an interesting thing that we got at the end. I kind of like that.
okay.
The-
Well, I'm
you can
talking
say the hands
specifically
across
about
America.
The hands across
I
America.
like that. I like that.
There's a great little Japanese movie by Akira Kurosawa. It's a wonderful film, and it's called High and Low, and you should watch
Okay.
that film. And it's just basically about a guy who lives way up on a hill in a very rich mansion.
Yeah.
Suddenly, someone's trying to kill him. And I'm going to, and not, it's not too much of a stretch, but I'm just basically going to tell you what it is. I don't know.
Don't give it away if I want to watch it.
I'm not really giving anything away because the person who was trying to kill him is just somebody from the low part of town.
Oh yeah, of course. Yeah.
And at the end of the film, the guy he says, why did you want to kill me? What did I do to you? He says, you are high and I am low.
That's all it was.
That's all he said. And that was
Sometimes that's all it takes.
It's all it takes. It's the
Yeah.
old Charles Manson, let's kill Sharon Tate shtick.
Yeah.
Let's go after the rich people and just kill them, and just because they're better, they think they're better than we are.
Yeah.
And in this case, you got to buy a very severe little kind of almost a silly premise. I felt the shadow people, basically. I think it's a little on the M. Night Shyamalan thing, but Did you like this film?
No, like
well, you just said you-
well, I said before, I didn't
you
love it.
listened,
I
yeah.
enjoyed it.
Yeah.
I think Get Out, his first film, obviously, is to me a little more of a superior movie.
I agree.
But I still enjoyed this for what it was. But by no means was it scary. It wasn't a horrifying. That's just the hype machine. Don't buy into that.
Absolutely true.
But it's worth seeing.
7.5 on IMDb.
Yeah.
This
I mean,
film.
I would say it's still worth seeing. I don't know if I can tell
it's
you.
worth seeing. I don't know
No, I
if
would
I'd
check
buy
it out. Maybe not rush to the theater, but it's a prominent film in the lexicon of cinema that I think you should at least see
think so?
it once. Well, but no, but it's a huge movie that's come out.
It's a great looking
It's
film.
a cultural movie.
What did I
by
take
a hot director.
what-
I think it should be
well,
seen.
Yeah, but what did I take away? What did you take away at the end of this film? I don't. Nothing. Really. What'd you
Nothing
take
that we
away?
haven't already seen other times or discussed
Absolutely.
elsewhere.
Absolutely.
But
I
again,
took
you know,
nothing away.
I thought it was an interesting experiment, an interesting take on a story that has been told before in different ways. And again, every story has been, whether it's a book, a movie, whatever it is, a TV show, every story has been told already. It's how you tell it that makes it unique.
You can't see something that hasn't been seen. John Lennon.
Yeah, I mean, so it's all
No,
about
it's very
what this
true,
artist brings to a trope that we've seen 1,000 times before.
Yeah.
And I thought it was interesting. I didn't love it, like you said. I wouldn't give it more than 3 stars.
Really? You give it
that's
3 stars?
Well, I said I wouldn't give it more than 3 stars.
I
I
wouldn't
don't
give it
know if
3
it's
stars.
a 2. I don't know if it's a 2.
It's a 2.5.
Yeah,
it's
I don't
right
know.
under
I would
3.
go to 3.
It's visually very appealing.
Very
I think
appealing.
it's very well done, art direction wise, and the color
Yeah.
and the.
To me, there's
beauty.
enough to give it 3. But I would not
Okay.
go higher than
Oh,
that.
Gosh, I don't know if I.
Because three is a good film. 4 stars is a great film. It's a good film. It's not a great film.
I was thinking as I was
2 is
watching-
fair, I
Okay,
think.
well, I agree.
Wouldn't you agree?
I do to some extent. I was thinking there while I was watching this film about the hype machine and how I'm being affected by it.
It's terrible.
It is terrible,
Yeah.
and I almost felt like I'm over amplifying
I know.
my criticism of this film. I'm blaming myself for disliking it in a way. Because
I see what you're saying. I've done that before.
Well, the hype, it just makes it so. Oh, this is so great, so great, so great. So immediately I go negative. I go, oh, well, what's so great about this? Suddenly I'm Gene Siskel at the
I see
theater.
what
I'm
you're
not
saying.
Roger Ebert anymore. Going
know.
in to like a film.
Yeah.
I'm there. Okay, prove to me you're so great.
I know what you're saying. Yeah.
And that's how I kind of felt coming into this. The first 35 minutes of this film is a drag. We're setting up characters. Nothing happens.
Yeah.
Nothing happens. The
It's all
doppelganger-
exposition.
It's all bullshit.
Yeah.
And the characters aren't even fun or nice or happy, or they're all kind of gloomy, miserable people. Everybody's the father just wants to kind of make everybody have fun. Nobody wants to. They're all just in this gloomy place. So here,
And
you get the
Lupita's
boat.
character is kind of like, she doesn't even want to be there.
She doesn't want to be there.
The kids are just, like,
don't want to play
indifferent.
with their phone like all kids.
Yeah, they're indifferent.
They are indifferent. I just felt it.
And then Elizabeth Moss just wants to get drunk.
She just wants to get drunk.
And then her and her husband hate each other. That's what we
They
got.
hate each
Yeah.
other, right? I want to kill him sometimes, she said. And
Yeah.
I just found nothing really about it to just merit.
Okay.
But at the same time, I was. I guess it was okay. It was okay.
See, for me, it's hard. Like, I
Yeah.
admire Jordan Peele, so it's hard to really like rip the film apart, which I
you
wouldn't
admire
want to
him
do.
as a person, but everybody makes shitty films. Look at Francis Ford Coppola.
Yeah,
he's
but
made plenty of shitty
yes, but I don't
films.
think this is a shitty film.
No, I
don't
don't
think
either.
it's
No, I
as
don't either.
wonderful as Get Out was.
No.
But I also think that Get Out was amplified into this like, godlike movie that
True.
let's settle down. It was a good movie. I didn't think it should have been up for Best Picture, but it was a solid movie that I loved that it got
I did too.
attention.
I did
loved
too.
that he got the attention
No, I
because the
love the
movie
film.
was different.
No, I
but
love
I
it.
didn't think it should have been Best Picture. It wasn't that good.
No, I agree.
But it was
I agree.
interesting.
Yeah, but
and it's a
they're-
better film than Us.
They're struggling to get those 8 Best Picture or 10 Best
Well, yeah,
Pictures.
now they're reaching a lot of the time.
Yeah, they really are. So they'll throw
But-
Black Panther in there. Or
Yeah, they just
whatever.
did that because they knew they'd get torn alive if they didn't.
Exactly. And
Especially
there's
because
also-
people.
yeah.
The whole reason we have all these extended nominations now is all because of The Dark Knight, because of the backlash that film didn't get
Careful with
nominated.
that remote.
I will. Because that film didn't get the nomination. That's the whole reason we have this whole ushering in of more than 5 nominations, all because of The Dark Knight.
Oh, I never even heard such a thing.
Yeah, that's where it came. That's where it stems
Okay.
from.
Okay.
Anyway,
I think we can move on.
we're gonna move on from us.
Yeah, it just did nothing really for me. I didn't find it scary. I thought Lupita was great.
She was the
that was
standout
it for me. And nobody else was all that good.
Well, she's the dominating performance. Yeah,
She
and
is,
she's the,
but
and she
even
has
the
the most to do in the film too.
Even the supporting characters, though, I felt nothing from them.
Yeah.
I really didn't. The husband, he's worthless, and I didn't like the way that they all just immediately accept there's dead bodies around.
I know they were very nonchalant about it. I
Very
was thinking the same
nonchalant
thing
about that.
when I
I
saw
didn't
that.
like that. They, there's some murdering going on. Now they're
Yeah.
getting accustomed to it. They're getting accustomed to the murdering, and now we're just, oh, hey, let's just stay here in this house.
I know.
Oh, there's bodies here, and there's 2 girls there, dead,
Yeah.
dead. But let's just stay here. I was just like, oh, come on.
Yeah, I know that was kind
Give
of
me
silly.
some realism at least, a little
Yeah.
bit.
All right,
let
so
us
we move on.
Yeah.
So now we're going to do a film that is on Netflix. I believe it got a very, very small, limited theatrical release last fall.
Okay.
But it's premiered on Netflix in the past week or two. It's called All About Nina, starring the wonderful Mary Elizabeth Winstead and Common.
Yep.
But this is her movie. She's Nina. It's
She
all about her.
is spectacular.
And I'm going to echo your statement and that she is spectacular. To me, this is I hate this term, tour de force performance, but it's phenomenal.
She is awesome.
Blew me away in this
Yeah, me
movie.
too.
I think it's the defining performance of her career. This movie has stayed with me. Her performance has stayed with me since I watched it.
Right.
I loved this movie. I thought it was the best movie I've seen all week.
Yeah, I agree.
I adore this film.
Yeah.
Her performance is hilarious. It's heartbreaking. It's thought-provoking. And she has this amazing, 5 to 10 minute monologue at the end of the film, this stand-up routine that she does.
Phenomenal.
Where she reveals the total persona of
crux
who she
of-
is
yeah.
and why she is.
And very common amongst
Amazing.
comedians.
I
There's
know what you're gonna
usually-
say.
Usually comedians have had, there is that big hole in their heart.
Darkness from
There
their
is a
past.
darkness. There is usually their parents divorced young. They had some tragedy.
Yeah.
My God, I personally, I can
You've got the
relate.
playbook.
I got the playbook right there. But I mean, and it does. It turns your personality into something that you need something from everybody.
Yeah.
You can't just draw from the family that you never had. You have to go elsewhere for it. So some people go up on stage. The beauty of this film and why I recommended it to you, and I'm so glad that I did because I love that you love it.
Yeah.
But the fact that she was in it, I've
always liked her.
I've always liked her too. She was in the first Cloverfield, not the Cloverfield. She was in the
The
Cloverfield
second one,
with,
which I still haven't seen with John Goodman. Yeah, I want to see that one.
She's great.
Yeah.
She's terrific. I've always
That was
thought
like something Cloverfield Road, right?
yeah, exactly.
Yeah.
1139,
Something like that,
some bullshit. But this girl, I'll tell you something. She's just got a driven inner core.
Yeah.
And that driven inner core, boy, does that just come across when she's on stage. In every aspect of this performance, this really is it's I think the film is really not a great film. But it's her film,
It's her
and
film.
therefore
She makes it great to
I
me.
love what's her face
Cameron
here
Manheim
from
She was
L.A.
the-
Law.
she
or-
plays her mother.
or CVI or CSI, whatever the hell she's
And I
in.
also say real quick, not to cut you off, that I think this to me is the coming out party for Common. And what
Yeah.
I mean is, I don't think he's ever been given a role with this much to do. He's been wasted, I feel, in films
this
up
much
until
to
this
act.
point. Yeah,
He's had plenty of. He was great in John Wick.
Well, I know,
2.
yeah, but he's played
He plays
assassins. He's
a
done
heavy,
that kind of thing.
He plays a dark.
But he really gets
cold,
to do something in this movie.
and he's real.
He's real, and he's great, and
yeah.
he's likable, and he's funny.
Yeah.
He's charming, and he feels like a real person.
True.
And I believe their chemistry in this film. I believe their relationship.
Absolutely.
The
This
story
a-
is very simple. It's a comedian from New York, played by Mary Elizabeth Winstead. She's Nina. She gets the opportunity for a huge audition to go out to LA to audition for this guy that's kind of like a Lorne Michaels for a show that's kind of like a
Played by
Saturday
Bo
Night
Bridges,
Live.
yeah.
And so she's going out to LA to get ready for this audition to work some LA clubs. And so that's what the premise is. And then she meets Carmen when she's out there.
This must be our director.
That's a
right there.
director, female
Yeah.
director, and I gotta say
She
her name.
wrote it and directed
She
the
did a
film.
phenomenal job.
Phenomenal job.
Her name is Ava Vives. Or
There you go.
Vives.
Right,
Excellent.
right. Yeah, here she is right there.
Yeah, Ava Vives. And this is her feature debut.
Yeah.
She's done a lot of shorts before this. But I gotta give it to Mary Elizabeth.
No question about
She
it.
bears it all in this film in many ways.
Literally.
Yeah.
Literally and figuratively.
And she's phenomenal.
It's a sexual performance. It's just a amazingly. It's so the writing is the key to this film.
Beautifully written.
Beautifully honest.
Yes.
It's so honest.
It's
every
almost,
aspect of the character
feels
is
real.
right out there.
Yeah.
You
I
don't
met
feel,
this person before.
I know.
You know,
We
like
all
I
have.
know this person.
I know.
I know.
She's so brutal. She talks about, I mean,
Everything.
Having, there's a whole tampon monologue that she
That was
does.
good.
They're fantastic.
Period monologue,
Getting periods
sex,
and sex,
one night
and
stands,
everything,
all
and,
that stuff.
And then Common enters the picture, but the key to this film is her.
Yeah.
It's that drive. From the moment we see her on stage,
Yeah.
we believe her that
I
she's
agree.
a stand-up comedian.
I do.
She could
She's
go out
awesome.
and be a stand-up comedian. I don't know who her real person is. I don't
Yeah.
know what this girl is. Because in every film I see her in, she's a little different.
Yeah,
she
she's
adapts
real
and she wraps herself around whatever role she has. But this role, oh my God, she was made to play this.
Yeah, this was.
She was
like,
made to play this.
That's
role.
why I said I think this is it's up until now. It's a career-defining performance.
I agree.
It's a film that I hope is one that she'll be remembered for.
I hope so, too.
Every actor has maybe, if you're lucky, 2, 3, 4 movies. I hope this is one of them for her.
Unfortunately, I doubt this will be remembered at Oscar time. I'd almost love it to be.
Well, see, it already missed it because it was out limited release last year.
Oh, it was?
And it's already missed the Oscar vote.
okay. What a shame.
Yeah. Yeah. So
but,
it's unfortunately going to be one of those overlooked things.
Yeah, she's a knockout too.
Yeah, she's very
just
attractive.
gorgeous. I just loved her. I loved her take on herself.
Yeah.
I love the way she just. I mean, it's an amazing film. We have to hand it to the director. We have to hand it to
Great job. They did a
Mary
really
Elizabeth
good
right
job.
here. Just great stuff. I've never seen her give. I mean, the last film I saw her in was that miserable Cloverfield thing. I told you she was, of course. I think her first film was The Thing. There was a remake of John Carpenter.
I don't know if that was her first film, but
I believe it was.
well,
You might
I
wanna
know
check
she
her
was
out
in
there.
Scott Pilgrim versus the World. That might have been before The Thing.
Oh, she was in that. She was great in that.
But she
too.
started coming around in the mid 2000s.
There you
know?
go. Okay.
But let's look her up. Why the
How
hell
old is
not?
she? I'm going to say she's 30,
Early 30s.
She says 34 in the film. That's how old she is.
Yeah,
When
I think
talking
she's
to
roughly
Common
that
there.
age, 33.
She probably is. She probably is.
Yeah, born in '84, so that's 35, right?
She's 35. Correct.
Yeah.
Yeah, she's awesome. Awesome.
She's fantastic.
And I love Common in this film.
Me too. I thought
did.
he was wonderful. I identified with him. I believed him.
Yeah, it's an
Let's see, a lot of
amazing
TV
film.
to start, but her first movie, like theatrical film, I think a lot of TV movies, was first looks like theatrical film was The Ring 2.
Oh, really?
And then she did Sky High. The big one that I remember her in, that's right, Final Destination 3.
Oh,
that was the one to
okay.
me that I first noticed her.
Oh, all right.
And then a couple years later,
Very
she
good.
did...
Here's her roommate, her lesbian roommate right here. And the girl that she's...
Clea Duvall.
I know.
Yeah,
she's in the relationship with.
the woman whose house, she
Used to
stays
be
with her
in
agent's friend.
Carnival,
and
yeah,
they're, and they're
HBO,
lesbians.
yeah.
And that was a funny character.
I loved
She's a
it.
writer.
I loved everything about
And then,
this
you know
movie.
what scene 2 really
I will
got
watch
me?
this again
Me
in
too,
a
I
year
will
or
too.
so.
Yeah,
Absolutely.
I agree. There's a scene in this film where Mary Elizabeth comes home to the home of her friend. Her name is Lake, the
Right.
writer, the
Okay.
author, who is having a fight with her lesbian live-in girlfriend.
Loved it.
About the dishes.
Yeah.
That conversation.
The sponge
the
underneath.
sponge, and it's
Totally real.
Such a real conversation.
Absolutely.
But it doesn't have one of those false, cliche, storming out of the room arguments. They resolve it in a real way.
They did.
It's a real
Let's
argument
talk about
with
this.
resolution.
And then
Which
I
is
love
really
the way
well
she
done.
said, listen, I don't mean to put the sponge at the bottom of the dishes.
It just
It
happens.
just happens.
Yeah.
I'm sorry, I do it.
That's how you
and then
communicate.
she says, well, I accept that.
Yeah.
I believe that.
She goes, why don't you get one of those little things that
Why
we
don't
can
you get a
put
little
it in
holder that we
for
can
it?"
put a
She goes, you know what?
sponges
That's
in."
actually a really good
That's a
idea.
great idea.
That's a real argument.
I know.
That's
Just-
communication that movies usually don't have.
And the whole film was just full of that kind of thing.
Great.
I love the way she rejects Common. You
Yeah.
know, it's boy gets girl, girl gets boy, girl loses boy.
And again, it's because she feels like she's going to ruin it, so
She does.
she's pushing him away.
Exactly.
It's just
boy,
a
I know
real,
that feeling well.
Real film.
Yep.
There's a lot of real psychology going on in the writing.
Absolutely.
You know,
gosh,
I mean-
I just loved it. It just felt so good.
There was another movie that we discussed in the previous show within the past few months that I remember remarking on the writing and how much it struck me. I can't remember which movie it was right now.
Yeah.
But I love when that happens because it doesn't happen often.
No, it doesn't.
That you take note of the writing.
Well, we talked
know,
about.
it's
I'll tell you
nice.
what we did talk about. We talked about Instant Family. The writing.
Oh,
of
we talked about Instant Family. That's right. We like that.
Spectacular. Great writing.
Something like
there.
that was the movie I'm
That
thinking
felt
of.
real to me.
Yeah.
A lot of the fights with the kids and so forth, that felt real to me. I liked that.
Yeah.
And there was another film the same day that we talked about, which was Ben is Back. where we did talk about.
Yeah,
some
we
of
thought
the-
it was a little cliche, but we
We did.
didn't love the writing in that.
Yeah, we didn't love the writing.
We thought
but
Beautiful Boy was more real.
far more
Yeah,
closer
that was
to
just
home.
a beautiful film.
But this film is home.
It's great.
It's right in the root of who we are as
I
a
agree.
human race. It's just.
Can't recommend it high enough.
I can't either.
I think to me, it's one of my favorite movies so far this year.
Yeah, me too.
I loved it.
I loved it.
I will watch it again.
I do too.
I might even buy this movie. I like, even though I only can
Really?
watch it on Netflix.
Wow.
But
Okay.
I really enjoyed this film.
No, I did too.
She's awesome.
She's
I can't say how good she
is
was enough.
amazing as an actress.
Blew me
as
away
a-
in this movie.
I just loved her.
Me too.
She's just, this. If anything, this film will be a stepping stone for her.
I hope so.
And I hope
'Cause
she
deserves
becomes an A-list actress because she deserves
She
it.
deserves it. Yeah, she
1000%.
deserves it more than a lot of the A-listers that are out there. I'll tell
No
you.
question about it.
She's
Well, I don't
fantastic.
know. If you're an A-lister, you got there for a reason.
Well, some people
But
get
this
there on
could
other
be
reasons.
her. This could be her first. Her Meryl's not. In that kind of.
I know what
vein.
you're saying.
That,
Catapult
that
till-
Nicole Kidman first movie.
a
to
big director could
get
catch
her-
his,
exactly.
could catch her on this and
Well,
say,
Nicole
"Oh, you
was
said-"
in that great movie. Hey, Nicole was in that great movie. On the thing with on the boat.
Dead Calm.
Dead Calm.
Billy Zane and Sam
correct.
Neill.
Yeah.
That was a big break for her. Yeah.
That was a big break.
And then another
Tom
one for
Cruise
her
recognized her,
for
and
that.
really
And he brought her in
made
Days of
her
Thunder.
life. Days of Thunder
Yeah.
brought her here.
And then they did about
But,
two other movies together. They did Far
They
and
did
Away
that
and
stupid,
Eyes Wide Shut.
Horrible Far and Away film. And then
Eyes Wide Shut.
They divorced right after that.
I know,
pretty
yeah.
much. But still,
yeah,
here she
anyway.
is. There's your star, Mary Elizabeth Windsor.
Beautiful
My
job.
God.
She's
and
wonderful.
there she is talking to people.
Yeah, it was great.
You got to wonder every time. Here we are going on about this film, but I
I
when-
knew this was going to be a big one for us.
Yeah, me too. But when you see people on stage, you know that they've rehearsed and they've heard. She must have gone to some club in
Oh, you
LA
gotta
or
research how to
wherever.
do this.
She in New York. I'm sure she did.
And there was a nice
Some
cameo
actual
by
stand-up.
Jay Moore in here too.
Yeah, Jay
That
Moore's
was fun.
in there. Yeah, not looking too good these
No,
days.
he looks a mess.
He looks like a mess. Yeah.
But all right, so we
But,
move on.
let's
Highly
move on.
recommend it.
Yeah, absolutely. All right.
Now another
on,
Netflix
Lee.
film that is recent is The Dirt.
Yep.
Which
The
is the
Motley
story
Crue
of Motley
story.
Crue
Yep.
and mostly significant because of the debauchery and the excessive partying that they're famous for.
Correct.
That's the crux of the film.
Yeah.
And the friendship of these four guys and the falling out.
The real band, right?
The real band, right? There's a couple pictures of the real guys here. We have Vince Neil. We have Mick Mars. We had Nikki Sixx.
Tommy Lee in
and
the
Tommy
back.
Lee in the
There's
back on
Nikki
drums.
Sixx and
And Vince Neil over
Vince
here.
Neil over there.
This guy looks like Frankenstein.
Well, that's
I didn't
his
know
idea.
Mick Mars had that condition with the spine and the stuff getting.
True.
'Cause They
True.
say that he's got this condition that it makes all the area surrounding the spine fill up like cement, and he slowly gets crouched over. It got
Right,
horrible.
right, but he was getting some
Using
kind
comparisons.
Of, yeah, right. Well, they have that at the end. I did like that.
I always
at the
like
very
when
end
they
of
do
the
that.
film where they have them on one side playing the
Yeah.
same song as they're
The actors,
playing.
yeah.
I think the actors involved did a great job.
I thought so too.
I thought they were all very. Let me be quite honest. This is the kind of movie that if you're you're just going to college and you're getting high and drunk with a bunch of friends and guys and gals and girls, you're hanging out. This is a great movie to just put on. It's just loaded with sex and drugs and rock and roll.
It's just pure
It's just
entertainment.
it's pure entertainment. It's fun. It's
I
goofy.
had a blast watching
It was
Is
a
it a
kid-
great movie?
No.
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 But I had a blast watching
It's like
it.
a B minus
It's so
movie.
fun.
It's just a kick.
It is. You know
I
what you're
love
getting.
this guy. As soon as I
He
saw
was
him,
good. Yeah.
I said to myself, I know this guy. What the hell was he in? He played Keats, or no, he played Shelley in Mary Shelley. He's the one who marries.
Yeah, his name is
Dakota, not Dakota, but her younger sister. Fanning.
Elle Fanning.
Elle Fanning.
He's Nikki Sixx. Douglas Booth is his name.
There you go.
And we have playing Tommy Lee in this film is that actor / musician Machine Gun Kelly,
Oh, really?
also
He was
known
great.
as Colson Baker.
He was great as Tommy Lee.
I thought he was great. I
all
bought
the way.
that. He
Yeah.
captured this
He
youthful
did.
glow.
Well, he
Yeah.
just captured that nuttiness,
Fun. Craziness,
that
yeah.
fun, crazy
Yeah.
kind of thing. I love that, and she almost looks like Heather
Heather
Locklear.
Locklear, she
right here.
I have her here too. She
It
was
really
good.
was. It's not necessary.
Doesn't matter.
Doesn't
But
matter.
what I was struck by was who plays Mick Mars. I was watching. I'm like, I know that guy.
I knew him
I know
too.
that guy. Well, where do I know him from? Game of Thrones. It's Ramsay Bolton.
Oh, there you go.
That nasty son of a
course,
bitch.
you look at him,
Yeah.
and all I saw when I look at him is
Yeah.
Eddie Izzard Jr.
Yeah, Ewan Rion. I think
He
is how
looks
you
like
say
Eddie
his name.
Izzard. Eddie
And then
Izzard.
we have Pete Pete Davidson playing their manager at one
Right,
point.
I know that was.
No, he's a
came out
record
of the
exec.
blue. Yeah, he plays the
Yeah.
Elektra Records guy.
Exactly. And then
Yeah.
we have David Constable, who plays their manager. He was most famous in Breaking Bad.
Right.
Remember?
Oh, I do.
Yeah. He was the guy that was brought in by Gus to learn how they do the drugs.
Oh, okay.
Remember?
Okay.
And then we have another prominent actor in this film. Who was it? Oh, not prominent actor, but I mean character. This guy, Tony Cavallero, plays Ozzy Osbourne. That was a fun scene.
He was good.
Ozzy poolside with the
Eating
snorting
the
up.
ants.
I
Well,
don't know
that's
if
a
that
famous. No, that's true. That happened.
No, but I don't know if that happened at that moment with Motley Crue. I feel like they just.
No, it did.
That's when it happened?
Yeah, absolutely.
Okay.
No,
I
no.
wasn't sure if they just embellished
No,
that.
That was true.
I didn't
stuff.
realize that happened
This-
on that tour.
This is based on a book by.
I have the
96.
book. No, I know.
have it too. I read the book.
Yeah.
And he was a hardcore drug addict.
Oh,
It's
I
about
know.
his
I just didn't
heroin-
realize that happened at the
Absolutely.
same time as this story.
No, absolutely, 100%.
I thought that was from some other tour.
Eddie Izzard right there. Yeah.
He looks like him, yeah.
He does.
But I thought
Yeah.
everybody did a good job.
I thought it was a great little,
I really enjoyed it.
nonsense movie. Definitely a film I could watch again.
Yeah, I really would too, because I really enjoyed it.
It was just
People
a
on
kid-
social media are like, this movie sucks. I'm like, you know what? You're expecting too much. I went in with zero expectations,
There you
and
go.
I had a good time.
Me too.
And I want to say, this was the feature film directorial debut of Jeffrey Tremaine? Jeff Tremaine, who directed all the Jackass movies.
Really?
He's the Jackass
Oh, wow.
guy.
It's kind of a Jackass movie
Yeah,
in a
it's
sense.
a good fit for him.
I love the opening scene. There's a squirting moment there with the.
That movie, I was like, wow.
I mean, that opened the film.
the first 5 minutes.
The first 3 minutes
Yeah.
of the film, this girl's getting gone down upon. There's a squirt that
was
just shoots
amazing.
across the room.
Yeah.
I said, "Oh, this is going to be a fun
Yeah.
little flick."
Yeah.
This is going to.
That's showing you right away the kind of movie it's going to be.
Exactly.
Yeah.
And I knew where it was going.
Yeah.
I knew where it was headed, and I liked
And I
it.
enjoyed it.
You do when we do see the other guys at the end of the film. I did know about Vince Neil. I read his. He wrote a book.
I didn't
also.
know about his daughter.
I knew about his daughter dying. Horrible.
By the way, that little girl was spectacular. That
was
scene
good.
when she's in the
Yeah,
hospital bed and they're
crying.
telling her that she's going to have to stay longer.
I know.
I wrote her name down because she's excellent.
She was excellent.
Cameron Ragsdale. She's one to watch as an actor.
Well,
the
she's
next
only,
Dakota Fanning.
She's only 5, but
Well, she's young.
I thought this guy was great. I thought everybody
Although
was
I will
really
say,
good.
there's one scene where when he's upset, when they rekindle the relationship with him,
Yeah.
and he's got to react to everything that's happened. I thought that I didn't like that scene. I thought his performance could have been a little better in that one scene.
Don't blame him.
I know, that's what I was going to say. The director
Don't
didn't
blame
pull it
him.
out of him, whatever.
Yeah.
Other than that, I was very happy with the
So
characters.
this guy really plays the drums. I'm guessing. Doctor.
I'm not sure.
Whatever.
Machine Gun Kelly.
I got a feeling he does.
Yeah, maybe.
But
he was good.
Yeah. It was.
But
okay.
yeah,
It was
it's
a fun little flick.
fun little
absolute.
movie.
Can't be.
Don't expect anything other than a fun little movie.
Just go sit
Just
down.
have a
and,
good time.
It's a sex
Have a
and
couple
drugs
beers.
movie.
Yeah, Very entertaining.
Yeah, I thought so too.
good. I'm glad you enjoyed
It
it.
was a kick.
All right, folks. Now the back half of our show, we're just gonna be doing some flashback. We haven't done some in a while. Flashback. And these are films that are basically older films.
There you go.
The first one we're gonna cover is called Francis.
There you go. Jessica
It's
Lange.
a Jessica Lange performance. It's a film from 1982.
82, yeah.
Oh yes, 1982. She plays a famous Hollywood actress named Frances Farmer from the 1930s and 40s, who had a small rise to fame, and then she pretty much almost self-sabotaged her career by being this very vibrant, wild woman who refused to adapt to what Hollywood was trying to
I
make
wouldn't
her.
call her a wild woman. She was more.
Well, she was kind of wild. She was a wild card.
no, I
she
wouldn't
just
call her
didn't want to
wild. I
go
would just
along with
call
what
her-
Hollywood wanted to mold her into.
She was very much a self-composed human being who had her
was.
own ideas,
Very
her own
opinionated.
thoughts. She was very opinionated. She wrote a story. She wrote a little.
When she was in high school.
Story when she was in high school about God being dead,
yeah.
etc. And she was kind of called a communist.
Yeah.
And of course, back those were the days when everybody was called a communist. If you had any kind of ideas outside the norm. And she's just a very self-propelled young woman. Her mother, played by the incredible Kim Stanley.
She was great.
Ladies and gentlemen, my God, that woman does not do many
She
films.
was fantastic.
And when she does do a film,
Yeah.
she's really noted for being in Streetcar Named Desire with Marlon Brando. Stella. She's just an amazing.
And she was nominated for an Oscar. Did she win for this, Kim Stanley?
I do not believe she did.
I think
But
she was
Kim
nominated.
Stanley
They were
was
both
also-
nominated, though.
Wasn't Kim Stanley also? Wasn't she in East of Eden? Was that her?
I think she might have been. I think think she
and
was.
she did win an Oscar for that, but
I think
I don't
you're
think
right.
that was Kim Stanley, but I
good
could be. But this is Jessica's film all the way. I gotta
She
say
is
something.
phenomenal in this movie.
She really is amazing. Who did she
She
lose
blew me
to?
away.
Who did she lose to in this film? Well, I personally recommended this to you.
Yes.
I wanted you to see
Yes.
this film because I love this in the theater.
What's interesting is that she was also nominated the same year for Best Supporting Actress for Tootsie,
And she won. I know.
She won that year for that.
I know.
But Best Actress in '82,
which is a silly film. Her performance in Tootsie, she plays a nurse in that.
yeah,
film.
she was good.
It was
She was
horrible.
a love interest.
It was stupid. There was nothing to it. And then she won her own Oscar for Blue Sky.
Back in the for Best
later
Actress.
in the '96 or so.
94.
94. There you go.
Yeah.
But here's Kim Stanley. Here's Jessica. A great little story.
Okay, yeah, Best Supporting Actress nomination, Kim Stanley. She didn't win.
She did not win.
Neither of them won.
Okay, but was Kim in? Check her out and see if she was in East of Eden.
Oh, yeah, hang on.
She might have been the mother. I think I'm mistaken, but.
Well, she was in The Right Stuff, interestingly enough.
Oh, okay.
Francis. I don't know.
Also, Sam Shepard is in this film. This
Yeah,
is
Sam
where
Shepard has a major role.
She met Sam Shepard where they kindled their romance and had
Fell in
kids
love.
and fell in love and then fell out
No,
of love.
she was not in East of Eden.
Later on. Okay, so who was that, I wonder? That was another, that was
I
a
can
very
let
famous,
you
and she
know.
died shortly thereafter, whoever that actress was. But here they are. This almost looks like, it's not part of the film, this looks like,
You know what? This is probably behind the scenes.
yeah, behind the scenes, they're just falling
There's
in
not
love
a lot
right
of great
there.
films, a lot of great pictures online.
I gotta say this, after watching...
Julie Harris, East of Eden.
No.
Yeah.
Well, she played the sister.
Joe Van
Correct.
Fleet.
Joe Van Fleet, that's
Yeah.
her.
Yeah.
Okay, Joe Van Fleet, she's the one, and she did win an Oscar for East of Eden. I think Jessica captured the essence of this person. I think the person was the Frances Farmer. I found her to be a little bit more, far more laid back. I don't know if she was quite as spiteful, but then again, I can't really say that after we just saw an A&E documentary on Frances Farmer. She just kind of got this meteoric, this incredible shooting star like
Almost overnight.
Almost overnight, just because of her beauty. I think she's far more beautiful than Jessica Lange. I truly do. I think she's almost in that Grace Kelly category. She's just a lovely, lovely,
She was.
beautiful, beautiful woman.
And quick side note, to answer your question, Best Actress 1982, Katharine Hepburn on Golden Pond.
Oh, there you go. Well,
guess
she
that had to win.
couldn't beat out
Yeah,
Catherine.
yeah.
You're my knight in shining armor. Yes, yeah, and Henry Fonda also.
Exactly.
See that chocolate ice cream on her glass? That's GAF color film. That was a commercial that Henry did back in the
My uncle used to work for GAF.
Did he?
And my cousin Julie.
Used
They
to
both-
work with
No.
GAF?
At the company GAF.
Oh, the company.
They both worked there together.
There you go.
Yeah.
Okay.
Before, it doesn't matter, who cares?
This is a lovely
this is a
looking
great film. It looks
I love
beautiful.
it. It's all in
Yeah.
oranges and
Yeah.
browns. It's got that nostalgic feel to it.
It was the-
just
the-
looks beautiful.
the-
Directed by or produced. Graham Clifford directed.
Graham
the
Clifford
film.
directed. It was his feature debut as a director. He was an editor by trade.
There you
who
go.
edited the postcard, The Postman Always Rings Twice. And he also edited Fist.
The remake with,
With Jack Nicholson and Jessica Lange.
Which
He
I'd love
also
to see
edited
again.
Fist and The Man Who Fell to Earth.
Okay.
He also edited Rocky Horror Picture Show.
Oh, there you go.
Yeah, prominent
Pretty
guy.
Amazing. So he's a British guy more than likely.
Most likely. But yeah, this
yeah.
was I thought her performance was just a
Spot
firecracker.
on.
She
Yeah,
was
she
awesome.
Was dynamite.
Dynamite.
She, was
She
laid
has
back
some
when she had to be.
amazing
she really
scenes.
pushed it out
She
there.
really did.
Yeah, it was a great.
This
little-
must have been an exhausting role.
I totally agree.
Because this character was very
it was a tough thing
feisty.
to play. Yeah, it was a tough
Yeah.
character to play. There's depression. There's
Yeah.
a lot of scenes. The big controversy, of course, did the actual Frances Farmer get a lobotomy?
Yeah.
Which is one of the near to the end scenes of this woman's life, supposedly. We do have a great photograph, though, in the A&E documentary of a woman laying there, and it looks like Frances Farmer. Hence,
Yeah.
the press actually thought she did get a
Yeah,
lobotomy.
yeah.
But on the parallel scope of the real Frances and the Jessica Lange Frances, I thought this film was a little bit too it was a little too embellishing. I felt that it was I don't know how realistic it truly was. I felt that the real Frances Farmer was far more laid back. She had no friends virtually. She went through her whole life
I know,
pretty
yeah,
much
very
as
lonely.
a loner.
Well, the
Just-
movie kind of tells us that a little bit.
Yeah, but I didn't feel that from her. I mean, well, obviously when you're a movie star, you obviously have to communicate. you're constantly being hit up by the star process,
Yeah.
by the, just the world of agents and directors and producers and people giving the scripts, and she just kind of got tired of that.
She
that,
did. Well,
that
Jack
bandwagon.
Nicholson famously said that as an actor, a working movie star, you meet more people in 1 year than most people meet in their entire life.
Exactly so.
Which is true, obviously.
Very true.
But nevertheless, this is a very,
Beautiful
very
film.
excellent film.
Loved
I
it.
really enjoyed it.
And the great thing about this film, and I recall it well, and I saw this film in the theater back in
82.
'82, and I do recall.
I didn't. That was only 4.
I know you were 4 years old, but I was 40 at that point. No,
You aged well.
But
Especially with the new haircut.
I have to say though that now I've totally gotten off my track here, but I was going to say this, and something that you pointed out, and it just is the natural train of evolution on watching this film, and that is as soon as you see this movie, you suddenly have an incredible interest in the real Frances Farmer.
You do.
I remember her book came out in the supermarkets or wherever, paperback, when we had paperbacks. Now we have those miserable goddamn trade paperbacks that they're all $15.95, $16.95. You can't just get a regular little $5.99 paperback anymore. What a ripoff, you mothers! But anyway, regardless, there's just a fascination that I suddenly had with the real woman behind this tale.
It's natural, I think.
Because you don't see stories like this. You just don't, everybody plays their star ticket, usually till the end, until they die, or they marry, or they just go away for 10 years, and then they come back. But this woman just spoke her mind. Here she is, dragged through the mud, for Christ's sake. I mean, she's, but a great performance all the way. I mean,
I agree.
I love it.
100%.
She's I love it when she's in somebody's home and she says, "I'm going to go use the bathroom," because she's sick of the.
Oh yeah, it's a Hollywood
bullshit,
party.
The bullshit banter. Everybody.
It's when she first comes back after being gone for a little bit.
Right, and she's kissing everybody's ass, and everybody.
She goes and takes a bath.
She just goes up in the bathroom. She takes a bath, comes out in the hostess is one of her dresses.
Yeah,
looks 10 times better than the hostess.
Yeah.
My God, Jessica's such a knockout.
Talk about an appearance.
But it's just a. I think it's an embellished film. I don't know of how. I
think a lot of bio movies do a little bit of that.
Course,
Take
they
the
have
license.
to. They have to.
Because it's a movie.
It's a movie. It's entertainment. If we filmed most people's lives, it would be boring as hell.
Yeah.
So we have to embellish. Here she is involved with the great playwright Clifford Odets. Back in the '40s, who was very prominent on Broadway.
Played by
Did a thing called
wonderful character actor.
Golden Boy, which, believe it or not, William Holden was the star of back in those days.
Yeah.
But a great little film.
Definitely worth pursuing this film.
Absolutely. How she lost, if you read some of the IMDb reviews that people wrote, everybody is just shocked to hell that she did lose. But and I cannot recommend more. Go on YouTube and check out the A&E biography.
Yeah, it's a short biography
beautiful
of her,
and lovely Frances Farmer.
Yeah, it's 40 minutes.
She
check
does
it out.
43 minutes, and she does appear on. Look at her. This girl
Beautiful.
is a goddess. She's just a knockout. You can see where she's got that Rumer Willis kind of jaw thing going on a little bit, but she just there's an essence to her. But I felt the sadness watching her specifically in the documentary. When you hear her sing, for example, it sounds like a guy.
Yeah, well, you talking
She's
about
got
when she
this-
shows up on This Is Your Life.
Yeah.
You could see the sadness there.
Well,
you could
that
see
was-
the uncomfortableness of that situation.
Well, they were
for her.
exploiting her.
They were.
Did you do booze?
Of course
Did you
they
do
were.
drugs?
Of course.
Did you have a lobotomy? I mean, I don't know if he asked her the lobotomy.
He didn't ask about
question
the
that.
lobotomy.
We didn't hear. If he did, we didn't
We
hear.
didn't ask for it, yeah.
But it's an amazing
It's
little
very
piece
worth,
of work.
very,
It's,
very good, very
really,
worth seeing.
Once again, another recommendation by your humble
Yes, Daryl
co-host
Smith
here.
takes credit for that
I
recommendation.
do well, as I do with Nina, all about Nina. I catch on to these things. I recommended them to him, and the next thing you know, here we are sitting
go.
here because we've got great movies to do.
So now we're going to do a film.
We
You
could
want
do
to
the
save
King.
that, right? Didn't you say you want to save that?
Well,
for
all right,
the-
we can
yeah.
go to The Vanishing.
The Vanishing. This is a film from.
You don't tell me you watched the. No, you
No, I
watched
watched
the
it.
original.
Yeah, no, but I'm mentioning the other one too.
Okay.
This is a 1988 film. It's a Danish film, but it also
Danish, Polish.
Danish and French.
Danish,
takes
Polish,
place in
yeah,
most
right.
of the film takes place in France. The film is in both languages,
Right.
to the point that it was disqualified for the official Best Picture selection at the Oscars that year from Dane. They wouldn't allow the Danes to submit this film because it had so much French in it.
Really?
Yes, and then it was remade, like you just might have noticed. In,
Forget that one.
Yeah, that was the Vanishing remake
No,
of
horrible.
1993 with Jeff Bridges,
Just got off.
Sandra Bullock, Kiefer Sutherland. It's not god awful, but it's not the original.
Well, and he directed it too.
Yeah, the same director
George,
directed the remake.
Oh, this guy though.
Yeah, he was
awesome.
great.
Awesome.
The director's name
That's
is
what
George Sluzier.
It's about a serial killer.
You could say that. Yeah, it's a guy
More or less a
kidnaps.
serial killer.
These two lovebirds are on a trip across France in the countryside. They stop at a gas station.
She disappears.
She goes inside to get some snacks, disappears.
Gone.
But then the movie shifts from him trying to find her. Then for like 20 minutes, we're with the kidnapper. And we're learning his story.
Right.
And then it's 3 years later, he's still trying to find her.
Right.
It's a fascinating movie. It's a very much one of those slow burns. You slowly see what happens.
Yeah.
But it, by no
It's very
means is-
disturbing. The younger scenes where he's, murdering animals and torturing animals. That part.
that's very brief, though.
Is it?
I don't
Okay.
remember too much about that.
Oh, I do. And
I remember
guess
him jumping off a ledge trying to see if he would survive the fall.
Okay.
But that's the guy that plays. He's very
There
good.
he is. He is very good.
His name is Bernard Pierre Donadieu, and the main guy is Jean Bervots, and the girl is Johanna Tersteeg.
The beautiful question of this film, though, that comes right down to that I will never forget for the rest of my life, is the killer, whoever you want to call him, the kidnapper. He says to her boyfriend, who has been now searching for years and years, and says, "If you want to know what happened to her, drink this, and you'll know exactly what happened to her."
Yeah.
And so he hems and he haws, and does he drink? Well, you'll have to find out, but. This is
a very unique film.
It is unique.
It is definitely disturbing.
No question.
This movie, when it came out, I know it caused quite the uproar. A lot of people
Yeah, it was upsetting, but it's
have regarded this film as the most horrifying film they've seen.
it is.
And it's not a film that has a lot of violence on screen or gore or violence. It's a lot of
It's just
implied
about
terror.
disturbing.
Yeah.
Disturbing.
And it's very effective.
Acts of terror,
Yeah.
if you will, acts of horror, acts against our
Yeah.
human race.
And it's
by
the worst thing that
other
I
members
think
of the
anybody
human race.
could deal with is losing a loved one, let alone. But to this kind of circumstance where they're kidnapped and the uncertainty, you never know.
Yeah.
That's got to be the worst part of it. These people that, especially when it's a child,
Yes.
I can't imagine what that must be like.
And yes, he does drink the drink.
Yeah.
So does he find out? Well,
Well, we'll
we'll
see.
have to find out. But oh
But
boy.
it's a very unsettling film.
I've had nightmares about this film very often through my life. Not so much in the last 20 years, but when I saw this film, when did this film come out?
1988.
Okay, so we're talking 30
Yeah,
years
it's
ago,
roughly,
31 years ago.
Yeah, exactly.
So, and I saw it back in those days. It's a Criterion film. It
It
came
is.
out on VHS. I saw it on VHS. I probably still have the VHS downstairs, believe it or not. And I found it so disturbing and very upsetting.
It is,
and,
yeah.
It stuck with me. It stuck with me to this very moment.
It's a very good film. I really enjoyed it.
That final scene.
I know.
It's just brutal. It's
And if I remember correctly, and I don't remember to be 100% sure, I feel like the American remake might have changed the ending.
Oh, totally.
You told, right? Yeah, I thought
Oh,
so.
yeah.
Yeah, I thought so.
So
Yeah,
they-
the ending's
they
different.
ruined it.
Of course, yeah.
They didn't have the balls to.
I know they
just
didn't. Of course
let
not.
it,
God forbid.
Let
yeah.
it be the
What it is.
horror film
I
that
know,
it was.
I
No,
know.
it had to be a fucking
I know, they always do
escape
that.
film, blah, blah,
course.
blah. But
If you want to watch it, it is available to watch on iTunes and Amazon.
there you go.
You, of course, can buy the disc, buy the
You
Criterion.
got subtitles, ladies and
Yeah,
gentlemen.
because
please
it's
be
in
aware.
French and Danish, but most of it, I'd say most of it's in French.
It doesn't matter. You're going to be reading those
But
subtitles.
either way, and
anyway.
you get
But
sucked right into the
It's
story.
a fascinating.
It is.
It's just a study of the psychotic world of people who want to hurt and maim other people.
Yes.
And it's just
Almost for just the
hell of it.
curiosity
The
of
hell
it.
of- exactly.
Yeah.
It's like the film Rope in a way.
Yeah.
About the two brothers.
The two
They weren't brothers. They were friends.
They're friends,
who
and they
just
discover
decide to kill somebody.
just for the hell of it.
Just to see what it feels like.
It's about their
to kill
professor who
somebody.
slowly figures out. I love
Precisely.
Rope. That's still my
It is
favorite
a great
Hitchcock film.
You
I
know,
love that one.
It's only done in like 4 takes, you know.
I know. It's
The
amazing.
whole film is
I
just
know.
he did it in 4 takes.
I
He did it
know.
like a Broadway show.
He did.
An amazing piece
It's
of work.
awesome.
Yeah,
But
absolutely.
yeah, definitely check out The Vanishing.
Check out The Vanishing. It is it's a creepy
It
film.
really
though.
is. It's definitely worth seeing.
I don't know. It's a film that's gonna stick with you and not in a great way. So you might want to evaluate that thought process before you.
Don't watch it before you go to Europe for a driving trip.
Yeah, if you're
road trip.
if you're under the age of 19, 18, 17, let's say, I wouldn't watch this film. I really wouldn't. Although I don't know, maybe 16-year-old people, you know, they have that self-centered telephone lobotomy already induced into their soul. So you know they don't feel anything.
The
anymore.
bottom line is, just remember the golden piece of advice your parents always told you. Don't talk to strangers. Don't get in the car with a stranger.
Yeah,
Doesn't
there you
matter.
go. Yeah.
Doesn't matter. Don't do it.
Yeah.
Anyway, we're gonna
Some
move.
guy in Rockland County here, just like a week ago, was out there in a van. Offered that little girl. He said, "Here's $50. Come on, here's $50. I'll give you $50." And the little girl said, "No, no, no."
No way.
They got I believe they
Caught him?
I don't know if they
Hope
caught
so.
him or not.
Despicable.
I'm not sure if they did.
Some guy tried to do that to my sister Carrie Ann when she was a teenager. She was
Listen,
walking.
I didn't even know her then.
I know you did. She was walking home from summer camp.
Oh.
She was a counselor. And this guy in a van, always a van,
Yeah.
tried to get her to
A
come
big
in,
white
and she
van,
ran away.
a dirty white van.
I don't remember what color it was.
Anybody has
But
a
he tried
dirty
to do
white
it.
van, you stay away from
Yeah.
those people. Let us
All right,
move on.
that's it.
It's a
That's
great
our
film.
movies. We're going to cover what's coming out next week.
Opening this week.
We'll only have 2 releases. We have Dumbo, which I may or may not see. It's Tim Burton. I feel like obligated
Oh, look
almost.
who's here.
Yeah, your girl.
It'd be beautiful,
Love her.
lovely. I do indeed.
Eva Green.
Eva Green. My
Yeah.
God, yeah.
And I
Danny
can't-
DeVito.
This I'm seeing.
The whole Tim Burton cast.
The whole
is,
Tim Burton regulars are
is
there.
out there. Matthew
Definitely going to see
doing
Beach
his
Bum.
Dazed and Confused.
This is the
role
most
all over
Matthew
again.
role we've ever seen, probably.
Could be.
I can't wait
well,
for that.
no, Dazed and Confused. He played the beach.
Yeah,
bum.
but that was very early Days and Confused.
Well, very true.
But this looks good though. But I'm not dying to see it.
Reviews on this have been very unkind.
Yeah.
They have not treated Dumbo well. I did read Variety today, and although it's a beautiful looking film, you know the original film of Dumbo, the Walt Disney
I
film
remember it
from
well.
'46 or whatever it came
Yeah.
out, was only 68 minutes long.
So
This
they've
is a
had to-
2-hour. The whole Michael Keaton character supposedly is not so great.
Oh, yeah.
I can't see this film because I can't watch anything with elephants in it because the plight of the elephant is so disturbing to me and so upsetting as to all the animals of endangered species that are just being wiped out for the sake of man's greed for their
I know, I
ivory or
agree.
their pelt or the Trump juniors who are out there just murdering.
Trophy hunting.
Trophy hunting. It just breaks me and kills me, and
I'm with you.
I can't even watch that stuff. Even though the Dumbo in this film is a complete and total CGI character.
It flies around.
It flies around. There's a lot of flying scenes apparently.
Yeah.
But it's not for me.
Okay. Well, that's our show. We will see you again next week. We hope you enjoyed yourself.
We will indeed.
We enjoyed being here.
We did?
We did. I did.
Okay.
I enjoyed talking about
I
film.
always enjoy talking about it. Too.
So we'll see you guys soon.
Very good. So, yeah, hopefully The King of Kings, I would love to
Yeah,
do
I'll
that
watch
soon.
it. No, I'll definitely watch
It's
it.
an amazing piece of work.
Yeah.
I'm going to tell you that right off the bat.
Yeah.
But I would like your perspective.
I definitely would love to see it.
Very good.
All right, guys, that's it.
Good night.
That's our show.
Louie, where are you?
Road. Yeah, below going down. Yeah, Mr. Snowman.